Welcome everyone to Mining Disrupt, July 21st presentation in Miami. What a great group of people that are building the infrastructure and learning how new machines are being used. I've enjoyed going around to the various booths to better learn about how can HIVE participate and power forward. So I hope that you will enjoy our story, our journey, as I try to walk through a few slides and for you to appreciate where HIVE is positioned for growth. First is the classic disclosure statement for forward-looking statements. And if you've not read this before, then please get a copy of it to read. Otherwise, let's jump forward. The management team. So we have a great management team. And earlier you saw Dave Perel as a director. He's Compute North. He was speaking as he's building out 1.2 gigabytes of energy. And we have Marcus New is also an independent director. And so I have around me just a great executive team. And most important, just recently in the acquisition of GPU-1, we brought some great technical people to basically power up and take us much further forward in the HIVE story. Now I want you to watch this quick commercial. This commercial is for all those millennials that find it difficult to listen to a long presentation. Who's HIVE and what makes us important? Welcome to the HIVE blockchain story.
HIVE Blockchain Technologies, a proxy for investors wanting exposure to the growing Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchain ecosystem. The only crypto mining company producing both Bitcoin and Ethereum. HIVE uses only green energy in its advanced facilities. The most liquid technology stock in Canada 2020, trading over 1.7 billion shares. HIVE Blockchain Technologies. Visit hiveblockchain.com.
I hope you enjoyed that quick sound bite, but let me get into the granularity and the meat of this presentation. So think about this concept a year ago when we were all locked down, and what would have happened if someone had taken their stimulus check and bought Bitcoin? They would have been up 10,000, that $1,200 is worth 10,000 today. And had they bought Ethereum, they'd be up 16,000. So what am I trying to share with you? Ethereum is far outperformed Bitcoin. And there are two different coins within the ecosystem. And one is a store of value, and the other one is a smart contract, which holds value embedded within it. And it's a very important, I would call it the app for the blockchain system and the ecosystem. So I'm going to explain a little bit more detail, but what makes HIVE special is that we mine both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we are the largest public company, right now the only public company mining Ethereum on a grand scale. What has happened over the past year has been the growth in the ecosystem. And what I want to explain to you, this is so significant in driving Metcalfe's law. And if you visit our website at HIVE Blockchain Technology, our YouTube, we have many great short videos explaining the significance of Metcalfe's law. And basically what it says is that if you limit supply and you have more people coming in to believe there's a value of this product, then the product grows exponentially. And that's what makes Bitcoin the phenomena that it has been, is that it's capped at 21 million coins. And as more and more people adopt and believe that it's a store of value and has economic potential, then it grows. And what we've seen in particular is with PayPal. With PayPal, you can basically buy Bitcoin in fractions. And had you bought it in fractions 9 months ago, a year ago, then you would have been able to make a ton of money and be able to take some of the profits off the table and buy a new TV. The other interesting part in the journey of the creation of HIVE is that I was trying to launch an ETF. After launching the JETS ETF, I was trying to launch a Bitcoin ETF. And what I found was that the regulators were greatly concerned over some hacker getting paid in Bitcoin and it's showing up at an ETF list on the New York Stock Exchange. So they weren't going to let it happen. I went to Canada and it was the same thing. They just weren't going to let it happen. And so with this knowledge going nowhere and friends invited me to participate and they had no institutional belief in it, I turned around and said, no, I will use HIVE blockchain, which was going to have immediate revenue and cash flow. I'm going to use that as a proxy to get caught up in something that I believe is a secular, huge bull market, and that is the blockchain. And Bitcoin has validated the significance of the blockchain, and Ethereum is taking this to another dimension and level in being able to have so many applications for the blockchain. So I said, let's go. And we started off with HIVE blockchain in September of 2017. And it was an incredible boom, bust, and then back to a higher boom. And what's happened during this journey is we've had a winter, and then we had the bottom basically crystallized when JP Morgan made the statement that they were coming with their own stable coin, and they stopped all the negative talk on Bitcoin, Ethereum, because they were now using Ethereum in their backbone for their stable coin. And that was the bottom in February of 2019. And we've had a nice, slow growth and then a big run in the past 6 months in Bitcoin and Ethereum prices. But what you see on this visual is during 2019 and then 2020 is a huge growth in the adoption of Bitcoin and the adoption of smart contracts using particular Ethereum. And PayPal allows people to buy Bitcoin in a fraction, but you can't buy a stock and you cannot buy ETFs on PayPal, but you can turn around and buy a crypto and then sell it and then turn around and buy a TV. That is really, to me, quite fascinating because it attracts more participants into this ecosystem, which then drives Metcalfe's law. Now I'm asked so often, what drives these stocks? And so what drives the factors that move the mining stocks are very similar to gold stocks. And in that drive, you see that gold stocks correlate over 94% of the time with the price of gold every day, and sometimes by the hour, they go up and down. And what is here is a simple, whatever Bitcoin, Ethereum are doing, it drives the underlying stock price. And the market gives two types of sentiment values: your current hashing power and your future hashing power potential. And that gives a more bullish they are, the greater the weighting they give on your future potential hashing power. And the more cautious they are, the greater the value in your current hashing power. And so I find this sort of goes back and forth on the confidence of sentiment. What I'm so proud of is so far, because we mine Ethereum and Bitcoin, is that HIVE has been the most profitable company to date. Now let's look at some of these numbers. At current difficulty levels, this equates to around, we're mining in Bitcoin, 7 Bitcoin per day, 210 per month. And this will triple over the next year. And when we take a look at the Bitcoin and Ethereum mining now, we're mining with 17,000 miners, we're producing 760 petahash. And if you were to try to take a look at how that conversion is going to take place, we expect to have 40,000 miners producing 3 exahash per second. This is quite significant, and all the new equipment we've been buying from NVIDIA is also going to greatly increase our Ethereum production. Ethereum, we have right now 100,000 GPU cards producing over 3,100 gigahash per second. And at the current difficulty levels, this equates to 150 Ethereum a day, and that's close to $300,000 a day. Now, getting all this excitement and all the reasons to consider buying HIVE for not only its current hashing power and revenue power, it's its future, you have to really respect short-term volatility. And I love to present this to shareholders that every asset class has its own DNA volatility. And when you look at gold bullion, it's 70% of the time as a non-event for gold to up and down 1%. It's the same as the S&P 500. But most often on CNBC, gold is classified as more volatile than the S&P, and it's just not true. And over a 10-day period, it's plus or minus 3%. Gold stocks are more volatile over a 1 day and 10-day. And as you can see, Bitcoin is 4 times more volatile than gold or the S&P 500, but over 10 days, it's of a magnitude 5 times greater. And when we look at Tesla on a daily basis is more volatile than Bitcoin. But over a 10-day rate of change, its Tesla is more volatile than Bitcoin. Now, Ethereum, it takes the case. Okay, Ethereum is extremely volatile. It's plus or minus 6% on a daily basis, but over any 10-day period, it's a non-event for Ethereum to go up 20% almost or down. So when you go into this asset class, you have to really be able to appreciate and respect and stomach the daily volatility. So let me give you a quick recap on the history of this wonderful little company that we created. HIVE was the first to go public in September 2017. HIVE was first to mine both Bitcoin and Ethereum. And HIVE was first to go and buy its own data centers. And HIVE was the first to be 100% green with an ESG strategy. And that's because I'm a money manager. And I launched this company and I was very understanding of the significance of ESG from the gold mining industry. So HIVE always started off with a very strong ESG strategy. And I can go into more details and go to our website. You can get more information about that strategy. And HIVE was first to be interlisted in Canada, US, and Germany. So we're so happy. And finally, we got on that journey to ring the bell last week in New York City of the NASDAQ listing. There's hopefully we keep maintaining that Bitcoin taking off. HIVE rings the closing bell on July the 12th. And some other firsts, as you can see, the team is very, very happy. And you can see some of the young guns there that are joining us for the launching of HIVE in the US. But in Canada last year, which is really interesting, is that HIVE far outperformed Bitcoin and Ethereum, just like a great gold stock would. So the price of gold went up. If you could say Bitcoin is like gold and Ethereum is like silver. Silver is more volatile than gold. And what's interesting is that Bitcoin was up 300% last year and Ethereum was up 475, and we were up 2,400%. The wisdom of crowds concept really showed you that we could demonstrate phenomenal profits, and that's why we were so leveraged and we had this big explosion. And we also traded tremendous volume. We had unprecedented volume trading in both Canada of 1.7 billion shares, and the US and over the counter before NASDAQ was over 400 million shares, and in Germany. So we traded over 2.2 billion shares last year. We're the best performing technology in Canada and the most liquid stock. And we hope to be able to, as we take our company and our vision to take it to 10 billion valuation, that we can turn around and maintain this growth and liquidity in being listed on NASDAQ. But year to date, HIVE, as you can see, is up 49%. Bitcoin is up 18%, but Ethereum is up 207. And what we've seen is since mid-May, as Ethereum has come off, but the crypto stocks themselves, they all seem to peak in February. And what we saw was this transition of people in hedge funds going short crypto stocks and long the underlying currency. And a year ago, it was inverted. So we see this rotation going back and forth between what they deem as undervalued and overvalued. On a relative basis, we believe that HIVE is most undervalued of all the crypto mining companies. HIVE beats cryptos in S&P in 2021. This year is another index of looking at Bloomberg Galaxy Index, comparing the S&P, comparing to NASDAQ. And this is a 12-month rate of change versus the previous one is just in 2021. So over the past 12 months, HIVE is up 900%. As you can see, the Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index is up 456, and we've just crushed NASDAQ. And this is the reason why I believe, as an alternative asset class and a diversified portfolio, HIVE warrants 2%. 2% awaiting in this very volatile asset class for growing revenue and cash flow. So the HIVE in a combined, it's 2.4 billion shares in 2020. So I hope by listing on NASDAQ that we can grow this number even greater. HIVE joins NVIDIA. This is very important recent developments in partner network and grows professional GPU footprint. This is part of our strategic relationship with them to be able to get chips that will continue to mine as proof of mining. Proof of work is very significant for GPU mining of Ethereum, but there's a general thought process. Everything's going to go to proof of stake. I have been hearing this since 2017, and still it's not really happened. And I believe that every time we have more people tendering their coins and getting an income from them, it basically shrinks the supply. And if you have shrinking supply and growing demand from stable coins like JP Morgan's fund, or you have growth in DeFi and now growth in NFTs, predominantly on the Ethereum backbone is using this, then you're going to have huge growth in the use of it. And I believe that supply and demand imbalance means Ethereum could trade much higher. And so we also did a very significant last week transaction with Foundry. We're very proud of it. We've moved to their cloud facility, their pool. Really, it's important, and I believe in this transition of crypto mining moving to North America. And we're seeing more and more Bitcoin mining leaving China, coming to North America. And many of the Chinese, if they can't get a facility here, they're going to Kazakhstan, which is coal mining. They're thrown out of China, but going to Russia or Kazakhstan has just as much risk of being in China. So I think that we picked safe jurisdictions. And what we have here is 3,000 high-performing Bitcoin mining. This increased our Bitcoin mining production by 46% immediately. And that was approximately $80,000 a day in revenue. I've also joined the Bitcoin Mining Council as a founding member. I really believe that Michael Saylor has shown tremendous stewardship and leadership in getting this group together to function like the World Gold Council, but to be decentralized and to really be an educational format on the cost of energy, because the green movement and Ripple have basically manipulated the narrative that Bitcoin is using all this energy. And first of all, they are not using all this energy that they say they are. And B, with the shutdown in China, there's a lot less coal energy being used to mine Bitcoin. And for us, we're going to continue to stay focused on only green energy. This is the visual. I think it's very important, as you can see, that what the world consumes, global Bitcoin mining energy use is smaller than is believed. Bitcoin mining consumes only basis points, 11 basis points of the total global electricity, not 200 basis points as falsely alleged. And by the way, Ripple is in the fight with the SEC. They're trying to protect their innocence. They are really not a crypto coin the way we look at it, but they've been out there using bots to turn around and spreading disinformation about this energy consumption. But HIVE, it's been frustrating that we get pulled down with other crypto mining companies which have not had a real strong green strategy, but now they do. But we want to make sure that we always stay focused on being low electricity costs, like our consumption of electricity is less than 2 cents in Sweden. Our areas have low temperature, particularly in the winter, and fast internet connection. Mining Ethereum in Boden, Sweden, we have a hydro, and what's important is Facebook is in this area, Google's in this area, and the Boden Business Agency has really caught up with pushing gaming in the universities and courses in gaming. So in that community, we could take our software and basically go from 20 megawatts down to 1 in 15 seconds and then go right back up. And a hydro facility couldn't do that during peak energy periods. So this is how HIVE works with communities. And this is our facility in Sweden, which I'm very proud of. HIVE attends Bitcoin 2021 in record attendance. And this is something that I talk about investment conferences, in particular the world of gold. I've spoken all over the world to only institutions, to CEOs, to retail, from the World Gold Council, to the Denver Gold Show, to institutions, to the Cambridge Group, which has 2,000 people. What's remarkable is that the investment for retail investors, the biggest is the Money Show in Orlando, gets 6,000 people, but it's free to attend. At this conference here, people spend $600, 12,000 people. This only happens in crypto, and these events happen all over the world. Just like today, speaking at Mining Disrupt, it's very expensive to attend this event. And so there's a real dedicated ecosystem of scientists, engineers, technicians, investors, and also my organization which I'm involved called YPO. There's many of my YPO friends here. Dave Perel's a member of YPO. HUD 8 is a YPOer. Bitfarm started off with a YPO CEO. And I think it's quite remarkable to see that Darian Feinstein, that just took his company public in a SPAC and a reversal, he's also a YPOer. And Russell is CTO, he's a YPOer. So these young presidents have really are cutting edge in this growth industry. And the big reason for this being such a significant growth industry is please visit our website because we have lots of information on it. But Bitcoin, it just validates another level of accounting. What's important in history is that double entry accounting created and memorialized by friars, by priests in Italy, was basically created the middle class, started with Phoenician traders, then the Medicis. Double entry accounting allowed this to grow. And what we're seeing with blockchain technology is basically triple entry. And triple entry is another level that's going to expand the accounting world globally. This idea of encryption to validate transactions. If you have it for voting, it stops empty lot voting. It stops illegal shorting of stocks. It's an incredible mechanism that has so many applications that's only going to grow. And HIVE is so happy to be positioned there for mining only Bitcoin, but also Ethereum. And I speak on a regular basis around the world. I do YouTube interviews, and this is part of the branding of HIVE. We've been recommended so often by Motley Fools, and I believe the reason for it is their appreciation for blockchain, their appreciation for crypto, but also it's because we've been the most profitable. And that's probably the biggest factor of how they look at picking stocks, the momentum of revenue growth and the momentum and growth in cash flow. H.C. Wainwright covers the HIVE story. Kevin is the analyst that's here in the room. So we're really thrilled about their coverage, and they really capture us. Please visit our YouTube educational site. Lots of content. Usually it's 2 minutes or less for that high intensity, quick thinking mind. On YouTube also, if you type in HIVE blockchain, you'll get so much coverage people have never spoken to. They're covering the HIVE story. So please follow us. Thank you for listening to our story.